Okay, so I started a carnivore diet June 19th, 2023, and today is June 13th, 2025. So almost coming on my 2-year carniversary. So I've learned a lot of things over that time. And I'm just sharing some things I think will help for quality of life for people who may want to save some more time and may find that this is a method that works well for them. So what I've got here are 3 double pans. So I'm not using aluminum foil, and it'll become clear why later, because what I do is I cook. So this is 2 pounds of 80-20% ground beef. Same thing here. And these are 2 ribeye steaks, 10 ounces each from Butcher Box. Some Redmond's real salt, which is what I use now. I didn't realize until recently that Morton's has salt has dextrose in it, so I can avoid that. I'm using the Redmond's now. Okay, so I use these to eat, cook, and store. So I cook them. Tomorrow I have one of these for breakfast and just do OMAD, so 1 meal a day is what I normally do. These days, this was at 400 degrees. This is the one that was just cooked. I think it was about a little bit over 30 minutes at 400 degrees. And I flipped it after taking it out, and the bottom is nice and it's not pink or anything. Not that that's a big deal, but it's definitely not pink on either side. I didn't cut it in half, but whatever. And I put in the salt before I put it in the oven. And so again, I cook it. So tomorrow I might eat, say, this one or that one, right out of the pan. Just use a fork, and then I can just reuse it. And I don't eat all of the drippings. I just reuse the drippings for cooking for the next time. So I don't use any butter, ghee, tallow, or anything like that in this case, or butter in this case. So I used to use butter, and I may later on as a way of cutting down the protein while still maintaining satiety, but I'm lifting almost every day now. I think yesterday was my 4th day of lifting in a row, lifting weights for like an hour. Not doing the same body part every time, but there's a rotation, but still. Given that, I think it makes sense to be eating like 150 grams of protein in a day, which is what you get out of that, roughly, the 2 pounds of beef. So it's good. For me, I think 1 meal a day works really well. It's something that I wasn't doing in the beginning, so then I learned basically every time you eat, there's inflammation. And so by decreasing the meal frequency, you decrease the frequency of activating the immune system. And so you're also conversely giving the digestive system more time to rest, the immune system more time to rest when you eat just once a day. And it takes a little bit of time maybe to learn how to be able to acclimate yourself to sleeping on an empty stomach. I know people like Homestead How, I think with his 1 meal a day is usually dinner, but for me, I like to do the breakfast, and then I can just kind of get about my day. But I think either way, OMAD is good. And obviously some people, it's like they eat at like noon, like lunch is their 1 meal. But I would recommend the 1 meal a day. There were times earlier when I was trying to do, I would say like eat like a pound of ground beef for breakfast, and then I would get really hungry by like noontime, and I'd have like 2 to 4 eggs. But I've been able to get away from that by just upping the size of the breakfast. So we talked about the salt, not using butter. So again, when I'm done for the day, so I'm done eating for the day, it's already like almost 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm just going to put all these back in the oven, and they'll be in the oven overnight. And again, in the morning, I'll take one. So it's at room temperature. And no, I don't think that it's going to be like, I'm not worried about it going bad or anything like that. So we're not talking about like leaving it like at room temperature like for like a week or something. Like basically this is 3 days worth ish. As far as the fasting, there was a little period when somewhat recently, maybe a couple months ago, when I was trying to do like alternate day fasting, which is basically eating one day and then not eating anything, just drinking, in my case, just drinking water the next day. That was a little bit difficult, and I think I leaned out a little bit, but I think I'm kind of more in a bulking mindset anyway. So again, I might try going back to it. It is really difficult from, especially the sleeping. The sleeping was the hard part, I think, from alternate day fasting. Like, I would just toss and turn like crazy on the fasting days. In general, it would be really hard to sleep. So, I guess someone could theoretically just toss and turn until like midnight, and then they're like, good, okay, it's eating day again. I do use a calorie tracker because I used to count calories before. I used to do tons and tons of cardio, really, basically, before Carnivore. And now I basically almost never do cardio. Basically don't do cardio anymore. Maybe some sprints here and there, but that's kind of anaerobic. So, but anyway, I used to believe in calories in, calories out, and so forth. I had no idea that insulin is basically the main determinant of whether you're storing energy or being able to access it. All those kinds of things are things that I know now. And the last thing, just to keep this short, well, two more things. One is there's this website I just became aware of. There's this podcast with Anthony Chafee that I was just listening to, and was interviewing the guy who created the website whycarnivore.com, whycarnivore.com. And I'm going to go through that. I might make a video on that and see what interesting things I can find. It might be actually worth a couple of videos given the breadth and the volume of that website from my sneak peek yesterday evening. So that might be fun. And then the last thing is I might also probably going to do some more videos on studies, because I enjoyed that video on ketogenic carnivore studies. Maybe actually also do a video on fasting studies, fasting for variety of conditions. To me, the most interesting would be cancer. Fasting is a therapy for cancer or an adjunct. So probably we'll look into that as well. So anyway, just imparting some tips. Again, I think this is super easy and convenient. Can do bacon this way, can do eggs this way. I do a lot of ground lamb and ground bison too. When I see it in the store, I'll usually pick it up. And I don't actually eat like steaks every day. I know you can make an argument that maybe it's better from the standpoint of there's going to be, the ground beef may have some chemicals depending on what ground beef you buy. Some just chemicals that you don't need and whatnot. And steak you can obviously make an argument it tastes better, it's more fun or whatever. Personal preference. There's a variety of different steaks. I actually like T-bone steaks a lot. That might be my favorites, actually. I might prefer them to ribeyes. But anyway, I think it's just the fun of eating. It depends, that whole thing about having like the big bone, eating off of a bone and stuff. I think that's kind of cool. So anyway, that's the video. It's under 10 minutes, hopefully. So thanks for watching.